Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues and friends, on behalf of the organizing committee and the University of Thessaly, who is hosting the event, it is my immense honor to welcome you all to this groundbreaking conference, Widening the Blue Horizon. Today, we gather as explorers, visionaries and custodians of one of humanity's most extraordinary legacies, our underwater cultural heritage. This vast underwater domain is a silent witness to millennia of human history, brimming with untold stories that offer profound insights into our shared past. Through innovative technologies and sustainable practices, we now stand at the threshold of unlocking these submerged narratives while ensuring their preservation for the future generations. Our agenda for the next 3 days is nothing short of transformative. Over the course of this conference, we will delve into cutting-edge technological advances such as robotics, AI-driven analysis, and immersive visualization tools that are revolutionizing how to discover, document, and interpret submerged sites. Equally important, we will explore how sustainable strategies can balance the need of exploration with the imperative of conservation. By engaging with global experts, fostering interdisciplinary dialogue, and forging new partnerships, we aim to set the stage for the future where innovation and stewardship coexist in harmony. It's going to be a long 3 days, presenting 41 papers, 5 keynote speeches, and 2 posters. As we embark to this journey together, let us remember that the big blue horizon is not just a metaphor for the ocean's vastness, but also a call to expand our perspectives and deepen our commitment to this vital work. Your presence here reflects a shared dedication to protecting and understanding our underwater heritage. And I have no doubt that the ideas and collaborations that emerge from this conference will shape the future of our field. Thank you for joining us, and let us dive into these inspiring discussions with curiosity, creativity, and a shared sense of purpose. Welcome, and may this conference be a resounding success. Now, we have a long day in front of us, so without further ado, I will pass the word to Edward Planche. I hope I'm pronouncing this well, head of the unit of the 2001 Convention on Underwater Cultural Heritage, UNESCO, connected from Paris. Mr. Planche, are you with us?
I am, yes. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, well.
Perfect. Okay. Good morning to all of you, to all your participants, Professor Benetti, Irene. I'm very glad to join you from the UNESCO headquarters in Paris. Unfortunately, I cannot be with you today, but I wanted also to bring to the opening of this meeting the virtual participation of UNESCO and the culture sector as a head of the unit dedicated to the implementation of the 2001 Convention on the protection of the underwater cultural heritage. So it's a pleasure to join you this morning for this international conference, Widening the Big Blue Horizon, regarding innovative technologies and sustainable strategies in underwater cultural heritage. As you know, our convention, which has today been ratified by 78 countries, represent a powerful instrument for the international community, the states, but also the scientific community that you are representing this morning, to better identify, research, protect the underwater cultural heritage while ensuring its preservation and sustainability of this heritage of the bottom of the oceans, the seas, the lakes, the rivers. Importantly, as you know, our convention promotes a set of fundamental principles that are widely recognized beyond those countries which have ratified, but also which have not ratified the convention. And I would like this morning also to pay tribute to Greece, because the community of underwater archaeologists, of scientists, of academics, are also bringing a very important stone to the building of the protection of the underwater cultural heritage. And if I may launch a call this morning, is the hope to see in 2025, or let's say by 2030, in the forthcoming years, Greece ratifying the convention. You are, Greece, a key player in the system of protection of underwater cultural heritage, with a worldwide renowned expertise, and having Greece among the states parties to the convention and joining the 78 countries we have today would be, for sure, an asset which would certainly also invite missing other countries to join the convention, and especially in the Mediterranean area, where the heritage, underwater heritage, is so important for the history and for the scientific knowledge. So, if I may once again launch this call for a ratification by Greece, not only but also Monaco, Turkey, all these countries bordering the Mediterranean are missing. So we would be very pleased to see you joining the rest of the states parties. To effectively ensure the protection of the underwater cultural heritage, including today's with the multiple challenges related to climate change, international cooperation is a key, and the support from the academic and scientific community and the networks that you are representing is for us crucial. In this regard, I would like to remind the 2022 International Underwater Archaeological Mission under the auspices of UNESCO, and the two autonomous projects on the Skirkiban, on the Tunisian continental shelf, and in the footsteps of the Balamakan in the Sicily Channel, Italian continental shelf, it's noteworthy. This was the first time in the history of the convention, which is not an old convention, only 22 years of existence, 23 years, but this international mission was the first implementation at the international level of the cooperation mechanism. This mission on the Skirky Bank between Sicily and Tunisia served as a very powerful demonstration of international cooperation, and it brought together, as you may know, archaeologists from the Mediterranean, 8 countries, around a common goal, the protection and the promotion of our common underwater cultural heritage. The discoveries and the results of this 2022 International Underwater Archaeological Mission have not only enriched our understanding of the past, but also highlighted the importance of international collaboration in preserving our underwater heritage. This endeavor exemplifies the spirit of the 2001 UNESCO Convention and its cooperation mechanism, as it highlights also the power of collective action in safeguarding cultural heritage beyond territorial waters. Needless to say that UNESCO hopes that there will be other joint efforts to identify and safeguard this common heritage under the auspices of the UNESCO Convention soon, and I hope that Greece, by becoming party to the Convention, will also be able to lead or be part to such international cooperation mechanism. Since the adoption of the Convention in 2001, much progress has been made in the protection and promotion of the underwater cultural heritage. However, more needs to be done in terms of encouraging, as I was telling you, more countries to ratify the Convention, making sure the underwater cultural heritage is taken into consideration in oceans management. And your conference today is a very important one in this regard. Sharing best practices of the sites that encourage responsible non-intrusive public access to underwater cultural heritage. Increase public awareness and recognition of this heritage. encourage respect for these sites by divers, researchers, and the general public. Ensuring that the underwater cultural heritage won't be forgotten in discussions at the international level, as we are preparing for the next conference of cultural policies, the Mondial Cult Conference, to be held in Barcelona in September 2025, and advocate for culture as a stand-alone goal in the post-2030 agenda. I'd like also to cite other challenges that we are facing today and which are pressing challenges. I cited the climate change issue, which is a real one, not only for coastal state and coastal heritage and heritage built on land, but also for underwater cultural heritage and the population and communities living on the coast and living from the underwater resources. I'd like also to cite the issue, the scourge of the illicit trafficking, and as party to the 2001 convention, you are also becoming a stakeholder fighting the illicit trafficking of cultural heritage. And in this regard, the link between the 2001 convention and the 1970 convention for the fight against illicit trafficking of cultural objects is obvious. The convention of the culture sector are working together, not only fight against illicit trafficking, but also protection of cultural heritage in the context of armed conflict, World Heritage Convention, of course, from 1972. I'd like also to mention the 2003 Convention on the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, because we know that the underwater cultural heritage is very closely linked to the intangible cultural heritage. So this is a comprehensive and logic framework, normative framework, that we would like Greece and all the missing states to join today. Let me also cite among the challenges we are facing the challenge of the potentially polluting and hazardous wrecks. We know that numerous wrecks from the two past world wars are now presenting a real threat to the environment, to the population, to the communities, and to the sea, with some ammunition, gas and toxic materials which are in these wrecks, in addition to the fragility of these metal wrecks. So this is a real challenge that we are calling you to address in your forum. I'd like also to mention the support that the researchers on the underwater cultural heritage can bring to the history, in particular of the slave trade, and this is also a very important topic that we are addressing at UNESCO, mainly between Africa and Latin America. And then, of course, the mapping, the inventory of the underwater cultural heritage is of key importance. But as experts in the underwater cultural heritage, you understand, have been advocating for a long time for the preservation of this heritage and its related environment. So we are confident that through your work, your studies, the calls that you are launching with the support of the European Union, you can help us and help the international community to tackle these challenges. Please let me end by invite you next year and meet from the 14th of June till the 19th of June at the invitation of the French authorities and on the occasion of the 3rd United Nations Conference on the Ocean, to attend the 10th meeting of states parties to the 2001 Convention and the 16th meeting of the Scientific and Technical Advisory Body of the Convention. These two statutory meetings will take place in Nice next June, and they will be preceded by an international conference on the 14th of June on climate change and underwater cultural heritage. And you are all very much welcome to participate in the discussions and attend all the debates. This International Scientific Conference is co-organized with Dresden, France, and the International Oceanographic Commission. So we are joining forces, and in parallel we'll be organizing with the museums in Nice an exhibition on the underwater cultural heritage, and also specific events on board of the Alfred Merlin boat, which served for the exploration in the Mediterranean August 2022 on the Skelky Banks. So your participation for us is key. Having the scientific community on the side of the states and the delegations party to the convention and other observers is key for us, and we count very much on your support in these forthcoming events. So I hope you will have fruitful discussions and successful deliberations, and I'm very much looking for the result of your international conference. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Plant. We can continue. I will ask now Professor Alexander Mazarakis Enian, my colleague, to come to the podium. Let me say that Professor Mazarakis played a very pivotal role for entering underwater archaeology in the program of the studies offered by the University of Thessaloniki.
Thank you, Yorgos. It's a great pleasure being here today and hosting in Volos this international conference. Indeed, I would like simply to highlight the role, let's say, played by the university in developing underwater archaeology and underwater cultural heritage, because in the 20th century, let's say, Greek universities were not teaching underwater archaeology, and therefore there were no underwater archaeologists trained to be such, unless we could mention the teaching by Janos Lolos at the University of Ioannina, but in a position of prehistoric archaeology. So when I arrived here in 2000, immediately we decided to offer courses of underwater archaeology. And this was the first time that in a Greek university, every academic year, underwater archaeology was taught. And this created a hub, let's say, for future students who now some of them are also working in the under the service, the archaeological service. Also, I would like to mention that in the first years it was Dimitris Kourkoumelis of the Ephorite of Underwater Antiquities who taught these courses, and later on it was Alexis Tourtas. And now the position is held by Yorgos Koutsouflakis. We always taught for 25 years and continue teaching and forming archaeologists now also having underwater research field projects. I myself also became a diver in order to do this for some years in my own excavation together with the Ephorite of Underwater Antiquities, and our students trained in underwater fieldwork, and now they're continuing in much more difficult conditions with Yorgos Koutsouflakis and Fournos. So I think that today it is now become consciousness to Greek academics in archaeology that underwater heritage has to be taught and protected already through the university positions, and it is and at least nice today to be able to know that, for instance, in Kalamata there is a position which is coming out again, and then also at the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki another position. So I think this university here, the Department of History, Archaeology and Social Anthropology of the University of Thessaly, did the beginning, the start, and now we're in a good way to develop underwater studies and archaeology in the Greek academic system. So with this very short notice, I would like to welcome all of you, and I would like to thank you, first of all, for giving me the opportunity to say these few words, and I think that this will be a great success once more, because it's not the first time that this underwater cultural heritage meeting takes place in Volos. Thank you.